Hello and welcome back. So in today's video, I just want to discuss about saturations because I feel like this is one of those, mixing tools that people actually abuse. Most times when I get mixes from people for feedback, when I open it up, you see different sorts of saturations, ranging from the free ones to the paid ones, things like decapitators, even the soft tube saturation knob and stuff. There's just a lot of saturations piled into maybe one sound. And I just think to myself, do you really know why you are using this? The problem with obviously new mixing engineers is, especially ones that are learning off YouTube and other social media platforms, they see what someone do and they try to do the same, right? They don't actually think, why is this person doing this? Obviously, I'm not saying you cannot use multiple saturation plugins on one particular sound, because me personally, sometimes I use the Spectre by Wave Factory, and I also follow it up by some tape saturation from UAD, maybe the oxide tape or something like that. But there is a reason why I'm using it, so I'm not just strapping saturation for the sake of it. And another thing that I tend to use saturation for sometimes is if I don't want to compress a sound, but I feel like it could still do with, a bit of glue. Instead of reaching out for compressor, I might maybe use, a tape plugin, for instance, to saturate it and, bring out more cohesiveness to it. But people don't actually know, or should I say, the ones starting out, they don't know all this, right? They just see that someone have added maybe 3 different saturation plugins and they will go to do the same. So that's why I want to discuss about saturation today. Saturation obviously could be used to add more harmonics. Say for instance, you have a sound that sounds thin and compressing it doesn't quite give you the girth that you need. You can use saturations to generate more upper harmonics to make it feel fuller, right? But you need to obviously know there's also trade-offs, because you might create some artifacts as well, or some liaison to the sound, which is why you need to obviously be gentle with it, or if possible use things like oversampling, right? But you still need to do it within the realm of, this is the reason why I'm doing it. Don't just do it because you feel like you have endless saturation plugins and you can do it. This is why obviously when people used to mix on analog consoles is better, because a lot of analog consoles obviously impact some of saturation, like be it subtle or a bit more aggressive saturation. But when you are using digital plugins, a lot of them obviously don't impact that sound. That's probably why you might think, let me add saturation. But you need to do it with a sense of, this is the reason why I'm doing it. Don't just think, okay, let me just strap up a saturation plugin and call it a day, because everything you do in mixing has got a knock-on effect. It's almost like when you are using an EQ, you can high pass this sound, but then it creates a phase shift to the next sound. If say for instance you got sound that are sounding tight and impactful, just adding a couple of EQ moves or some high pass filters here and there, low pass, can actually change the phase relationship, which could actually make some sound a bit phasey, or maybe even not sit well with the other sound. But obviously all this are what you need to sort of have in mind when you are thinking of, let me use this particular tool. So we have the tools obviously for our disposal, but you don't have to use everything. And in mixes, obviously there's this saying that less is better. But sometimes if the sound obviously need you to go all in and throw in a lot of plugins, be it 20, 30 plugins stacked, go for it. But the thing is, just have in mind the reason why you are doing it, right? Don't just think, let me do this because I've got endless amount of plugins to throw and I need to obviously throw them somewhere. And secondly, don't do it because you've seen people doing it. So do it because you feel like the sound need it. So that's obviously my take, or should I say my giveaway for this particular video. So when you are using saturation, just reach out for it because the sound need it, not because you've seen people doing it or because you have a lot of different plugins of saturation that you just feel like to use. So I hope this is helpful, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Also hit that super thanks and super sticker because it does help the channel. Hit the notification bell to get notified when I post new content. And be sure to join my membership on YouTube and other platforms where you can get exclusive contents and you have access to me as well, where you can send me your mixes for mix feedbacks. And now, until then, thanks for watching. Peace.